It is the opening week of the high school football season. Our Intermedia game of the week is Bloom-Carroll at Chillicothe, and we have the Director of Athletics at Chillicothe High School, Mr. Knute Bonner, with us. Good morning.
Hey, Dan. Good morning. How you doing?
Good. Good to have you here today. We're going to talk about things that are happening not only with the athletic department, but also about the big game. So we're going to touch on that in just a moment, right after these words from Andy Tomlinson with Tomlinson Insurance Agency.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When insuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Bloom-Carroll, Chillicothe, Friday night at the O. And this is a big opponent coming here. They will bring a crowd. There's no question about it. You've seen Wheelersburg crowds travel. Bloom-Carroll's crowd will travel.
Yeah, real good program. Multiple deep playoff runs in the last, probably 4 or 5 years under Coach Bartholomew, and then the train kept rolling when they replaced him from within. I mean, Bloom's a very solid football team. Real good football culture. Like you said, I'm sure they're going to travel very well. The O at Turnstine Field seats about 3,800, and I would have to imagine we're going to see every bit of that come through the gates.
The initials STO come to mind, standing room only. So when we look at setting this up, we're really promoting this not only as the season opener, but starting at 4 o'clock, there is a bunch of stuff to do.
Yeah, so the district put together a new strategic plan where we kind of wanted to see what direction we needed to go to help benefit the district. And one of the things that we found in that plan is a need for more community engagement. So we've kind of put together a few task forces, and one of them, we highlighted this first home football game as a great day to kind of kick into that community engagement, getting involved, bringing the community together around events. The Cavalier Club for years always hosted a fish fry on the first home football game. Kind of went away maybe 10-ish years ago, it feels like. So Aaron Brown and I, as part of the task force, decided that, let's bring back a tradition. Let's have a fish fry. We're frying. We've ordered 400 pounds of perch. So that's from what I'm told, that's about 800 dinners worth. So we're starting up at 4 o'clock. Come on down to CIS. We'll be there on the playground side of CIS. There will be a pickup line if you just want to come by and grab fish, but more than welcome. We're going to have a DJ, cornhole, some face painting for the kids. Just a fun environment to really kick off fall sports and get rolling as we start the new school year.
When the O was redone and renovated, parking was very accessible, something that was always a problem in the years prior. But now you've got this tailgating event going on. Where will all of that take place? Will it be at the intermediate school or where?
Yeah, so we've got a couple grassy areas there on the south side of the stadium, where we're going to have a tent set up for anyone to eat, get their dinner and head over. We'll have seating for about 100. We'll have a DJ there on the lawn closer to the basketball courts and the old shot put area. And then we'll have cornhole kind of set up. We're still trying to figure out how exactly we're going to keep the bus parking segregated from the party, but we'll definitely have some areas for kids to be kids.
Yeah, and with the arrival of the Bloom-Carroll crowd, that also includes their marching band, which probably is going to be 5 buses.
4. I was
is it 4?
4. I was wondering what that number was going to be. They're bringing more marching band buses than football buses.
Yeah.
We're going to have 4 marching band buses from Bloom. Been told really fun band to watch. So
they are.
Yeah.
They are. But if you want the fish fry and you're not going to the game, you've got a drive-through planned.
Yes. Yep. So coming there in front of CIS where there's a short drive in front of the main office building entrance. So if you're coming to the game, obviously we don't want you to, or not coming to the game, but coming to get fish. We're not going to charge you for parking just to come and get a fish sandwich. That, it's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to, we're trying to get as many people there as possible, but we're not trying to make every dollar possible off you. So if you want a fish sandwich, want a fish dinner, don't plan on staying for the game, you can swing by that front drive-through in front of CIS, and there at the corner, we'll be happy to get you your fish dinner, fish sandwich ready to go.
Yeah, and so many people will come and get that dinner, and they'll drive home, eat it, and then come back for the game itself.
Or stay home and watch the Litter Media Game of the Week.
Yeah, that's a possibility as well. Yeah,
you could have that.
I appreciate the cross promotion there. The game itself starts at 7, so and let's be honest, like Ohio State games, it seems like at CHS there's a late arrival, and the crowd just continues to build through the first half.
Historically, that is the case. We had a new assistant principal last year, and he came up to me during the game. He was like, "Hey, I thought you said we were going to have a good crowd game one against St. Charles last year." I said, "Well, I know our crowd should be pretty good. I don't expect much from St. Charles." He looks up and he goes, "There's 5 minutes to go on the clock, and there's no one here." I said, "Brady, just wait."
Yeah.
We've got a crowd that likes to show up right at 7 o'clock. They show up though.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. They show up.
Well, when I was in high school, we used to always say it was because they came to see the band. They got there in time for halftime. So it should be a lot of fun this Friday night. Again, the Litter Media Game of the Week, and we'll have the radio coverage for you on our Litter Media Radio. Just go to littermedia.com, click on the radio icon, and it takes you right there. I want to talk about the fall events that are going on. The fall sports are pretty much up and running, but you've got soccer, which will begin on Thursday. You've got football that starts this week. But tennis and golf, they've got some matches in.
Yeah. Our tennis returning FAC champs, boys golf returning FAC champs, and girls golf numbers are up this year. Last year we didn't have enough to officially compete as a team in the FAC. We did have a number of all FAC golfers still on the girls side, but now we're up to five girls on the golf team. So they're a lot of first-year golfers, but a lot of improvement coming along already. The boys' side, we didn't really lose much of it, graduation-wise. A few kids that, chipped in a score here and there, but our top 3-4 players are all back. Aiden Fisher actually just shot a 1 under 35 in the league match Monday. Which, as long as that's the only under par score we've had from a Chillicothe golfer in the FAC. And then girls tennis, like I said, returning league champs, undefeated so far in the league. They played at Hillsborough last night and won. Bella Flores is a 2-time district qualifier. The last couple of years, and last year progressed even a little further. Really just on that cusp of, let's see if she can make it to state this year.
Yeah. The only thing missing so far in her career.
Yeah, she's, yep.
We look back, and with golf, I know that there was a great deal of success for Chillicothe golf in the 60s and 70s. That kind of trailed off after several years, but starting to come back now. And Jason Fisher's done a great job with the program. And then you look at tennis, it has been solid ever since Janet Disbennett, I think, graduated from high school.
Yeah, I mean, she's been involved in the girls' tennis program for. Janet would probably get mad at me if I started to.
Yeah, don't tell
to say years, but even been involved with the boys' program when there was a gap in coaching. She was always willing to step up and help whenever. I mean, when you think of Chillicothe tennis, it's impossible not to have Janet Disbennett come immediately to mind.
I was coming to the school for a meeting last week, saw Rob Strong walking with some of the kids getting ready to start their workouts. Last Saturday, I believe it was, they had the OHSAA preseason meet.
Yep, up at Obetz where they run the state championships.
Yeah,
it's a pretty cool event that the OHSAA started doing. A lot of people when they first announced that they were going to bring cross country to Obetz, because it had been up at National Trail for a long time, Cider Downs before that, I believe even. but a lot of people were unsure what the course was going to be like and wanted to see it. So the OHSAA kind of, put their heads together and came up with a preseason race for that year, so people could see the course, get a feel for how it's going to run, and they've kept it up ever since. It's a really, really well run meet. I mean, I want to say they touch 1,000 runners in entries between all divisions. Our cross country teams are primed, ready to go. Got some new faces and old faces. Couple kids coming back from some injuries in track last year as well. That'll really help us.
Yeah, that'll be good. Again, cross country there. Boys soccer, girls soccer. Mm-hmm. You play Tays Valley Thursday. One's home, one's away.
Yes. That's we with the new divisional alignment. Had a lot of conversations with our coaches about who we should schedule in our non-leagues. And one that came up a lot, even though Tays Valley looks like, I think they're going to maintain being Division II in all of the new competitive balance team sports, especially with their enrollment growing. They're close enough geographically and close enough in enrollment to us. It just makes a lot of sense for us to play them. We've started picking them up in more sports. This will be the first time that I can remember we've played them in a regular season soccer game. The new divisional alignment, I know both of my soccer coaches are real excited about the possibility of, not that there was never a possibility to, go on a district championship run. But when you're tasked up with, your second or third opponent might be someone that has triple the enrollment of you. It's a little bit of a daunting task. So now with the new divisions, we're right smack dab in the middle of Division III for the most part, where people have 80 to 100 more students than us, or 80 to 100 less. So we're in a really good spot in a lot of sports, and soccer. We're real excited about what soccer can do. They've knocked on the door so many times of in district semis and whatnot of D1. Real excited to see what they can do, playing people our own size.
Yeah, and this realignment in that respect, I think, kind of goes back to when Chillicothe went to Division II in boys basketball and how it played into the advantage there for Chillicothe when they won the state championship.
Yeah, the difference between, especially in the Central District, between Division I and Division II, for us, we're Southeast that gets routed to the Central, obviously, in the Division I sports. But I've said forever that the best team in the Central District, Division I, hardly ever wins the Central District. There's four. They hardly ever end up being the Central's representative to the state tournament.
Right.
The year Chillicothe, the year we won the state championship, Newark won the Division I state championship. We were fortunate enough that we beat Newark at the Scholastic Play-by-Play Classic that year. But you put 54 teams in the Central District in a bracket, you just never know who's going to come out.
Right.
As opposed now with the Division III, it looks like we're going to be around 8 teams ish in the Southeast District Division III. So far in every sport that's been released, the Southeast District Division III will have one representative to the regional. So right now we're not going to see any combining of East and Southeast or Southeast to Central. It doesn't look like. Still kind of waiting to see what the brackets will look like for the fall sports. We haven't seen those yet. There was some talk about the Southeast District maybe going away from using the NCAA seed model where your line's predetermined.
Yeah.
I know the Central District, and I believe most of the other districts around the state, it's on the brackets are drawn on a choose your line system. So, the 1 seed picks their line, et cetera, through, in the Central District basketball, 50 plus,
Right.
which makes for a long meeting. But, I've always been a fan of the pick your line model. With 8 teams, it's maybe not as important, but
then it becomes who you want to avoid.
Exactly. Yeah.
At that point, if you're a lower seed, you're stuck.
Yeah, there's plenty of times where There's, you get down to the end, there's 2 or 3 lines left, and it's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
For those what giant do you want to have to slay?
We've transitioned into the competitive balance a little sooner than I wanted to. We went away from soccer, but girls soccer, Zach Breath's team, will be taking on Taze Valley at home Thursday.
Yes.
While Mike McCorkle's crew goes up to Taze Valley.
Yep.
So if you want to see the boys or the girls, just know boys, Asheville, girls, Chillicothe.
Yep. Girls at the O tomorrow night, and also I'm sure I'm probably jumping ahead of you again, Dan. Volleyball also at home Thursday
with Unioto.
With Unioto, big home opener. We've had that home opener for about 3-4 years now. It's kind of something that Mike White and I came up with a few years back. We'll always go play in their tournament that they host the second weekend of the year, and they'll come to us, and it just so happens that it fits perfect in both of our schedules to be the opener. Always a great crowd, always a fun environment, and they've got a heck of a volleyball team. So we're real excited about our volleyball team this year. We were young last year. We're still a little young this year. But we've got some real bright futures ahead of us on that team, and definitely excited to see what Thursday will bring us.
And remind me who the coach is in volleyball?
Leslie Hammond.
Yep,
this will be year correct. 2 for Leslie.
Okay, very good. Back to the O.
Yeah.
Last time you and I sat down and talked at the O, they were putting in the new turf.
Yeah.
Very nice. And this is something that the Touchdown Club helped make happen.
Yeah, we were incredibly fortunate to receive a $500,000 monetary gift from the Touchdown Club for the purpose of renovating the turf. We were coming on 10 years of the old field, and it was still in pretty good shape. But when the Touchdown Club comes knocking on the door and says, "Hey, we want to buy you a new turf," you
all in.
Yeah, it's an easy yes. Mike McCorkle, Zach Breath, Aaron Brown, and I we drove around to I think 6 or 7 different fields all in the area as the bids came in to kind of get a feel for what we what we liked, what we didn't like, what we wanted to see. Got together, kind of a group of, we picked 2 or 3 kids from all of the sports that play on the turf, and they kind of came together and told us which fields they've played on recently that they liked, which fields they didn't, which type of infill that they preferred, and kind of put together a comprehensive plan. Like I said, visited all the fields, and we landed on a field turf Vertex Core field. It's a 3-layer infill system. It's supposed to play as close to natural grass as you can with a synthetic surface. That with the 3-layer system, the layer that's not in every field being a mix of sand and rubber. The rubber is almost dust sometimes. It feels like they've crushed that sand rubber mix up so small. But then you'll see the normal rubber on top that you're used to, that you come home and it's all in your shoes, stuck to you. Yeah. So
it really becomes adhesive in rain.
Oh, so. Yeah. That's. I don't even know where to begin on how many piles of loose rubber I've had to sweep up around my shoes at my house.
And you first think you have a mouse problem.
Yes.
And it's not the case. So,
luckily.
Cosmetically, the field looks the same with the exception of where the teams are standing inside the box.
Yeah, that was something when Steve Mullins actually just reached out to Field Turf for a preliminary drawing and said, "Hey, let's see what blue coaches boxes look like." And as soon as we saw it, it was something that just adds an extra pop of color that we didn't have before. Kind of makes the field stand out a little bit more. And man, is that blue bright! Yeah, it's that was the first thing that I thought as soon as I walked over there, and everyone, and Steve Mullins, Coach Zach Breath, anytime we went over there, first thing was like, man, this blue is super bright. Mm-hmm. And it, the logo looks great at center field. Field Turf and Vasco, the installer, we couldn't have asked for a better product. They came in and they told us, we will have it done before your first scrimmage for football, and 2:00 Friday the day before, they buttoned it up, all good to go, and soccer teams were a little bit upset that we had to move their scrimmages to the following week, but fit everything in just in the nick of time.
Yeah, and it went a lot smoother than the original layout. Just because we didn't know what to expect.
Well, and all your civil projects are already completed. All the drainage is existing, all the subgrades existing. If I remember right from the original install, that was a big problem. A big problem we had to tackle was the drainage, where we had to cut into the drainage and how much how much overflow room we had. I know the city engineer was heavily involved in making sure all of that was taken care of. But with all the civil work done, they were right at, I think, 29 days all in from the first day they showed up to start tearing it out to the day they walked off and said, "It's yours."
Yeah. Of course, back in 2013, they were scraping up all the track and putting in scoreboard and all that stuff and everything, too.
A lot more than just a field going on that point.
Yes, absolutely. While we're talking facilities, the field house is getting a new name starting this weekend.
Yeah, we if you know Chillicothe football, you know the name Dennis Murphy.
Yeah.
Dennis Murphy has been involved with the program for as long as I can remember plus. He's invaluable. He's an asset that I don't know what we'd do if we didn't have. The field house there at Hernstein Field will officially on Friday be dedicated as Dennis Murphy Fieldhouse. Again, it's something we're super excited to do. We'll have a ribbon cutting for the new field, as well as dedicating the field house to Dennis Murphy, who I can't think of anyone that deserves it more.
He is indeed the heartbeat of everything that happens at the O. I saw him last week, and I forgot to ask him, how do you feel about this? So I'm sure if it were a surprise, it'd be a different response.
Right.
But he's had time for it to settle in now.
Yeah, I mean, he's as humble as it gets. We called him a little bit ago to confirm everything, make sure everyone that needed to be there could be there. He's it's just, and I know it means a lot to him, but also at the same time, you can tell he's more worried about the football game Friday than he is the dedication.
I got to park buses. I got to take care of the officials. I got to do this and that and everything else. But for this moment, let's just let it be Dennis Murphy.
Exactly. Murph, you can go right back to fixing helmets. Let us honor you right when you're done. Let us appreciate you for everything you've done for countless years.
This is not the only facility that's going to have a bit of a change for its name, but coming up soon, sometime during the basketball season, the court at Hatton Memorial Gymnasium will be named after Tom Cuppett.
Yeah, we had a group that reached out. They came and spoke at a board meeting, asking for us to look into naming the court after Coach Tom Cuppett. We created the appropriate committees and whatnot to look at it, and the committee ultimately made the recommendation to name the court after Coach Cuppett. It was board approved and taken care of. We're still trying to finalize some details for how we're going to unveil it in the winter. It feels a little strange to be playing on the court right now, knowing it's Tom Cuppett Court without having it dedicated yet. For volleyball right now, but with Coach Cuppett being a basketball coach, it only feels fitting that we would do a dedication during basketball season.
Yeah, and again, this is going to be Thomas Cuppett Court,
yes.
Right? So just want to make sure people know that as well. So, and there's been discussion. I don't know if it ever came about, but we were trying to find his signature and possibly have that as the logo.
I don't know if we've tracked that down yet or not, but I think it was you that came up with the idea of it, and at least you're the one who mentioned it to me. And when you look at Pat Summitt Court at Tennessee and Coach K, they all kind of, for the most part, have a signature on the court there. So yeah, I know if someone at home is watching, listening, and has a scan of a Tom Cuppett signature, feel free to send it in to us. we would be happy to use it.
He had impeccable handwriting, so that's one thing I always remember. But I've looked through all my stuff; I don't have his signature anywhere.
Yeah, wow.
So,
yeah.
So there's got to be somebody with a playbook or something somewhere. They've got.
I keep hearing about this impeccable writing, and Ray Bradley had incredibly smooth writing as well. So
And where's that put? What's your handwriting like?
I think I've got to work on mine. It's not. It's not illegible, but it could be better. Yeah, I think I've got to work on it. Everyone, Mr. Bradley, Coach Cuffett, everyone, impeccable writing. I got to improve a little.
I've got the initials DR, and I write like a doctor, so that's how that goes. All right, Cavaliers again starting the football season this Friday. You've got again Chillicothe hosting Bloom-Carroll, but middle school and the JV, they'll be making the trip to Bloom-Carroll. So that's this week, and freshmen are back to play Bloom-Carroll again.
Yeah,
right?
Later in the year. I don't know the date off the top of my head.
I believe Scott told us it'd be sometime.
I think it's in early September, I believe.
But it would be here at CHS.
Yes.
So, okay, very good. Thank you for coming in. Anything we missed?
No. Thanks for having me, Dan. I appreciate it.
Sure thing. Fish dinners and everything again Friday night, and tailgating and all the party that will be taking place. It starts at 4 o'clock. You don't want to miss out. Knute Bonner, thanks for stopping in. I'm Dan Ramey. Coming up again, our daily show, which is just around the corner at 11 o'clock here on Litter Media Live.